haven't seen exhibition eventing before. Let me tell you, all our horses and riders will be against time, will be against the clock. We have 12 obstacles out here with a mixture of show jumping and cross-country fences, but we actually have 14 efforts. And by that I mean that we have fences in relation to 4 A and B. The flower box and the bullnose out there are one fence, but they are A and B, and we also then head to fence 11, which is the Oxer in the vertical, and they too are 11A and 11B. So we have 14 efforts, 12 obstacles, and ranging in height from a metre 15 to a metre 40 in spread. The biggest fence is perhaps the triple bar, which is just down here to my left, which is fence number 3. Or the Oxer here, fence number 3, that's got quite a reasonable spread in it, a metre 50. It's only a metre 20 high, but it's got a big spread of 1 metre 50. Our course designer tonight, Mr. Michael Kreber, has done a great job. I just went out and had a little bit of a walk around here, Case, and there are a couple of options. I'm not too sure whether you take the option early to try and save a little bit of time, to give you the option, of course, to jump the Joker. The Joker out here represents, if you take the Joker on and you have penalty points, just explaining to you this particular event tonight that you're watching, the best score you can have is 0. So if you accumulate any penalties along the way, and all these riders tonight will come into this event, bar one, with penalties. The only rider that does not have any penalties from the dressage round, and they were seeded this morning from the dressage round, is ESB Irish Patience and Beck McDougall. She is the only rider on 0. So unless, to explain to you a little bit, unless Beck goes clear, she will need to have a crack at the Joker to try and limit her penalty points, because she gets a -4, which will bring her back. If she brings the fence down at the Joker, she doubles her penalty, so she ends up with 8. So you have to be fairly switched on, Case, but it's a fairly tricky course, and a big course too as well.
It is a big course, and that's probably the option that we're going to see what our riders do earlier on in the piece. Our first rider out will be Sarah Ray. Now, Sarah has 8 penalty points against her at the moment. So if she has a crack at the Joker fence, which is fence number 8. Now, if you have a look from the grandstand perspective, you can see in front of the grandstand there is an RASV fence. So it's sort of got arches at the bottom, while the fence next to that, sort of behind it, it's got 2 black on it. The 2 jumps that are in the middle, that is the Joker fence, the one with the black panelling in it. That's the particular jump that we're talking about. So it'll be very interesting to see whether Sarah takes on that Joker to try and limit her points. Now, the maximum...
believe it, that fence is right in the line of my light tower here, so I can't see it where I am, so I'm going to have to rely on you. But having a look at that fence out there, it is very vulnerable, let me tell you.
It is vulnerable. It's high and it's a vertical. So the option of potentially maybe a horse hitting that with a back foot as they're coming down for their landing is quite high. So it's a risky fence to take.
Well, our first rider to come out and tackle this course, they can jump fence number 2 as a practice fence if they wish to. And our first rider is Irish Mist and Sarah Ray, who carries a total of 8 penalties.
Now, the time allowed for this particular course is 75 seconds. So she's got exactly 75 seconds to get her way around this intriguing exhibition course out here. So it looks like she may be lining up for a practice. There she goes.
And you'll often find in some of these events that the smaller fences are often the ones that they'll pull. So we'll just wait for that to be rebuilt. Now, having a walk of the course before, just very quickly before we start here with Sarah, that fence to me is quite a tricky fence from the point of view you can probably tackle it a couple of different ways. I'll be very interested to see whether the riders come around the back of that vertical of the blue and white poles and the yellow plank in the middle, cut around the back of that and take that on the angle, and then duck in hard right rein over here to fence number 3, which of course is the wide Oxer. Here we go.
It's her first time here at the Royal Melbourne Show. Let's give her a little bit of a luck as we watch her speed around.
So fence number 1, she's over the Manor House okay, heads towards the vertical.
Just rebalancing her horse there. He was just disunited behind. Good riding there from Sarah.
She's taken the long way around. Fence number 3, and unfortunately...
That's an added penalty. That's 4 points. So there's 2 options there.
Yes, the brush 4A or 4B, 4B, 2 fences there. So far, so good, apart from just the 1 fence down. The tabletop, big fence, big leap. She's over that nice and safe. Horses jumping well under the lights so far.
Now, what's she going to do here? Is she going to take on the joker, or is she going to go for the smaller option?
Let's see how
She's
good your
going to
maths
take
are
it.
here.
Oh, that was costly.
So she comes in with 8. She's had 1 fence down and she's got 8 for the joker. Just having a look at the clock up there at the same time. Through the finishing flags. And the time 87.25. Let's put your hands together for Sarah Ray. She was game enough to have a crack at the joker, but unfortunately it didn't pay dividends for her. If she had a crack at the joker, that would have brought her back clear. That would have brought her back to the 8 penalty points that she started with. Unfortunately now she's got the 8 points plus 4 plus 8. I only make that 20. Our second horse to go should be Rimfire Dompierre, Tess Cook. Tess comes in here with 10 penalty points so far from her dressage. Let's check the total points for Sarah Ray after round 1. I can't see that, Dale. Just having a look at Irish Mist, we've got a total of penalty points of 33.
So she's taken your option. There you go, Dad. That's one for you. She's walked the course and done the same option as what you would have. She took the 2 fence at an angle as she comes around for fence 4. Hard turn there. Is she going to take it? Yes, she is.
She's competed on this combination for some 6 years, has Tess. This horse is jumping really well, really stretching out at his fences.
Confidence in her horse, confidence in her riding. She knows his ability to be able to turn on tightly.
She's had good success on this horse. Of course, the Friends of Werribee, she was first in the CNC Triple Star and also at Camperdown as well, and 50 in the Australian 3-day event Young Rider Championships as well too. Oh, she's got the joker down. Of course, she was looking to try and get the joker clear because she carried those 10 points in. What a shame. Gee, I love the way this fellow's jumping at the moment, really stretching out over his fences. The big oxer over the back there. A magnificent jump. She comes down to the last fence and stands back. Sensational leap here for Tess Cook. And Rimfire Dompierre. Tess from Turin in Victoria.
So she has 8 points for that particular round. And of course her time was 70.23, giving her a total points of 18. Killed my pen.
All right, see the big difference there, Case, compared to Irish Mist and Sarah Ray. Sarah accumulated quite a handful of time penalties, whereas we saw Sarah go around there in 70.23, a much quicker round. So, as I mentioned to you before, when you're coming into fence number 2 there, that really probably is the option that is going to open up for our riders out here to be able to cut some time off that clock.
Well, the young lady that we're about to see go around at the moment, she's no stranger to going fast. She rides track work out of Caulfield Racecourse for Kieran Ma. And looking forward to seeing her out here at the Royal Melbourne Show. She's competed here once before, so hopefully it's second time lucky for Lucy.
Had some good placings. Second in the CCI 2-star at the Lakes and Craters in 2012, and 6th, of course, at Ballarat in 2014 in the CC Triple Star. So, as you said before, she is fairly well experienced. You'll probably meet her tomorrow at track work.
4 o'clock in the morning.
13-year-old here is her mount, RSB Blue Jay. Manor House shouldn't prove too many problems. She's decided she'd go the safe way here, so she's really going to have to sit down and ride from here on, taking the long way around, giving her horse a real good look here at the Oxford at 3.
Oh, long jump there.
See, the hard thing with this case, you're allowing your horse to really bowl along in 3-day event pace. Then you've got to check him back or check her back and coil for the show jumping phase of it. She's just taken the top of the joker.
And that's the danger of the joker fence. It might not look like it's that much of a daunting fence out there as opposed to the rest of them, but when you stand back and look at it, it's got great height.
Now she's got a little lost out here. She has to go back around. Remembering, if you have a refusal, there's no penalties. Of course, the time still keeps ticking away, so she's accumulating time faults here, or time penalties, I should say. And unfortunately, 11A and B not too kind to her. One fence to go before she finishes around, gives him a little slap to remind him, and unfortunately pulls that front rail. Fence 3 a triple bar. It's 2 fences, it's an oxer. Got it down there as a triple bar.
So Lucy, coming out of that particular round, has
yes, unfortunately you're going to have to be good at your
41
maths
points.
here.
So 50 points for Lucy all over for her final score.
Well, at the moment, Rimfire, Don Pierre and Tess Cook lead the way with a total penalty of 18. It'll really get interested when our top-ranked riders come out onto the course to find out which track they take, whether they're going to ride for time or whether they're going to ride for safety. Which route will they take? And of course, they've got the joker up their sleeve. So once again, probably the smallest fence on the course, causing the most damage. Luckily, it's a warm-up.
And it's always a good thing, you know, obviously, to get your horse engaged in what they're about to do. The practice fence is always great to take them over. Just gives the horse and rider an opportunity to get out and have a look at a fence prior to getting out and competing.
All right, let's have a look at our next rider here. It's Robin Brown. The horse is I'm Charles too. And she's through the start flag. Keep an eye on the clock. Robin's taken the different route here. She's gone round, square onto the fence. Taking the long way, but remembering he's a big horse, he's going to cover a lot of ground. Fence number 3. Again, that front rail is becoming a little bit of a bogey. The flower boxes, good solid fence, shouldn't pose too many problems. She's decided she'd take the option. The tabletop, another solid fence.
And I think coming
and it's the show jumping fences that are doing the damage to most of our horses and rider combinations.
And this is why this event is so much fun, because we get the horse in eventing mode where we jump our eventing fences out there, and all of a sudden we tell them to come back and collect for our show jumping fences, of which some of our horses don't really want to do too much.
Well, it's interesting. I keep referring to, whoops-a-daisy. No penalties. The clock keeps clicking. So, unfortunately, her worst enemy at the moment is the clock. Jumping fine. I'll probably refer to this case from the point of view of allowing your horse to bowl along and really stand back and take these cross-country fences, and then you have to gather them back, and we really have to coil. We have to get the horse to spring. So it's a really, really hard task for many of our riders to be able to get the horse to be able to do these two disciplines against the clock And that's what makes it so interesting, as you said before.
We really noticed it then with that last fence that Robin took. She sat back and really balanced her horse up before she let him unleash on that last fence there.
49 points for Robin, unfortunately, puts her out of calculations here. Just to Mazzana, Simon Tainch. Now, this is where we start to get really interesting because Simon only carries 5 points into the competition. If everything all goes to plan so far and he gets to the joker and he jumps that clear, he then only has the 1 penalty point. So you can see where this becomes really vital for these riders. Starting to get into our top-ranked boys and girls now.
So this is Simon's first time out here at the Royal Melbourne Show, so we're looking forward to seeing him in the future. He's from Lara, so he's down your way.
Simon's just up the hill from me, or he's heading up towards Lovely Banks, actually. So we welcome Simon Tainch out here onto the Coca-Cola Arena. His mum was always very competitive in the show ring herself, Judy. In fact, they grow up, don't they? I remember this little fellow, his dad had the feed merchants in Lara for many, many years. There's a little boy out the front. Now our little boy here, he's going to take the shortcut game. That's the route I'd take. He really needs to get this horse to sit back, and it proves good. He can really make some time up over here because that flower box there is a pretty solid fence, and then you can roll on to the next fence. Both those fences across the back there, you've got to do some real damage to bring those down.
Well, that was a smart move by Simon. He hooked it down through 4A and 4B, and then obviously knows his horse, checked him back, ready into fence number 5. Now, what's he going to do here?
Well, it's a bit of confidence here. I like this combination.
He lines it up, steadies his horse.
Oh, takes the joker.
That's what we want to see.
Tell me if he's clear. Clear, is he? 1 fence to go. Well, I make it 1 fence to go. This could be our first clear. Let's have a look at the time.
That's our first clear round.
I think that tune would be ringing in Simon's ears. That's the way I like it.
That joker fence there proving obviously very good for Simon. Took the risk, didn't get it down. Our first rider so far to have proven that the joker fence isn't a problem for him. Well done.
Well, there you go. Coming in with 5, leaving with 1. Well done, Simon. Great round. Simon Tainch taking the bit between his teeth and having a crack at the joker. Yeah, no, that's mine. Okay, next rider out is Yona Lloyd. Now, this is where it's interesting. Yona carries 4 penalty points into this round. Now, if he does what Simon's done so far, the clock's on his side, hits the joker, gets it clear, Yona goes to 0. And that's the round and the number that we're looking for. As I said to you before, the best score you can have in any form of show jumping, and in this particular discipline, is 0. Yona Lloyd aboard Sergeant Crisp. This fellow was the 2013-2014 Event Horse of the Year. Now, interesting looking at the tactics here of Yona. He's not in a hurry, he's not in a rush. He's looking to go clear. Whoops, the daisies. Now he's got to start to put the pedal down because he's now accumulated a couple of points. 4 jumping penalties. So at best, now he moves to 8. He's really got to have a crack at the joker now. And the best he can hope for at the moment is probably 2nd place. He pulls the joker, so he accumulates double penalties. So for Yona, you can see out there he was cautious, he was careful, looking to have a good, safe, clear round. And unfortunately, accumulating too many penalties along the way, so it's worked in reverse for him. I think he'd be pretty happy with his penalties coming into this phase of the competition after his dressage round earlier today. Through the finish, let's have a look.
So it was 18 points accumulated through that round. Total points of score is 22.
22. Have a look at his time. Time allowed was 75 and he had 76, so he's accumulated a little bit of time penalty, not a lot. Let's move on. We've got King Vassie, I think, coming out next with Sarah Ray. Sarah, of course, having 2 mounts.
Beauty about Sarah, she's been around here before. She may take the same option that she did on her first horse, or will she try for a little bit speedier around and try something a little different?
Well, unfortunately for Sarah, early on with Irish Mist, things didn't quite go to plan. Time was their problem. She only ended up with 4 jumping penalties and then pulled the joker, so she got double penalties there, but then time ate into her score. She ended up with 33, so I'm sure we'll see a much, much better round here from Sarah. She's had a little bit of a look. Have you got anything on her?
So Sarah's been riding horses since she was 9 years old. She's a physio by trade, and she's been competing with this particular combination for 7 to 8 years. So we're looking forward to seeing what she does out here with King Vassie.
It's interesting, you walk the course and then all of a sudden you come up here and you have a look and then look at it on horseback. There are 3 different dimensions that you're looking at. And we're about to have a look at fence number 2, just for a little bit of a practice. That gives the horse the sighter. Of course, under lights out there, can be a little bit awkward at times. So what else can you tell me about Sarah?
Well, Sarah's background, she's been given...
A physio, she get plenty of work here around the show anyhow.
Well, yes, I know. There's plenty of work here up in the broadcast box, I can assure you. It'd be great. So what's her horse's career highlight? Well, he was 3rd at the CIC in Ballarat horse trials, and that was 2 stars. So we'll watch her compete here.
She rolls on here to fence number 2, the vertical. And she also has decided to come the long way around, take the fence square on. Doesn't take the shortcut, comes back around here to fence number 3. Gives her horse a good look at it. Stands back and takes the fence well. The flower box not posing too many problems tonight. Has the option of fence number 4. Decides she'd take the wine barrel, which is about 1.15 metre in height. 5, the oxer, stays up. The tabletop, good and solid. She's going well so far. Oh, he puts in a short. What a clever, clever horse. Puts in a real short one at the water jump. I think he might have had a look at the water and thought, I don't want to get my feet wet.
Now, here's an interesting option. She hasn't taken the joker fence. She's gone for the lesser option and pulls the rail, unfortunately. But at least by pulling that fence, you don't get double the penalties. You only get 4 penalties.
Well, she's probably felt that, she's allowed 2 refusals before elimination, so no penalties. The clock is the penalty here. It keeps ticking away, and the longer it ticks, the more penalties she's going to accumulate, which was her biggest problem on her first horse in Irish Mist. Just didn't like a look of it, but doesn't mind it second time around. Having a look at the clock, now up to 89 seconds. Remembering she had 75 to get around in here. So once again, she's going to accumulate quite a few time penalties. Through the 2 fences at the back, 11AB. The oxer and the vertical okay. Comes to the last fence, the oxer, and manages to pull that down as well too. So unfortunately for Sarah, not a round she'd like to look back on.
So round points was 39 points for that, obviously accumulating overall score of 45.
All right, let's have a look at our leader at the moment. It is just Mazzanana for Simon Tainch. 1 penalty point. Someone has to get 0. Someone has to get 0. Having a look here, Natalie Davies has every chance. She comes in here with 3. Katja Weimann comes with 2. Beck McDougall is the only rider that comes out into this competition on 0 to start her round. So any of our last 3 riders can jump to the front here. Natalie Davies aboard Chatswood Captivate. Previously involved in showing and eventing, has had good results at the Lakes and Craters in 2013 in the CIC. I think that might have been the 2-star. At Sydney, was 3rd in the CNC 2-star as well too in 2014. Warm Blood Thoroughbred Cross. Safely through fence number 1, the Manor House. Over to 2, the Vertical. And again, she's going to take the long journey. But she's going to have to sit down here.
Although she's gone the long journey, she's still covering the ground. She sits her horse back and lines it up.
Well, that's good. She's had the triple okay. She heads to flower box. This horse is reaching for his fences nicely at the moment. See how much more confident they are, some of these horses, when they're taking the bigger, more solid fence. He had no idea what was going to happen there. He really got in too tight. Unfortunately, she just measured his stride a little bit wrong. She sits down and pushes, lets him stand back. That was a magnificent leap. He's just grabbed that top rail with his back legs on the way through. She's going to have a crack at the joker. She needs it. Oh, again, she's dragged it with her back legs. You almost need the calculator about now. Through the brush, nice and safe. Let's have a look as she jumps on the angle over here. The parallel box. To the Oxer in the Vertical. Finally, home over the Oxer, the last fence in our exhibition eventing. For Natalie Davies and Chatswood Captivate. Let's have a look at Natalie's points, because this is going to be quite interesting here with our last 2 riders. I make it there. We've got something around the vicinity of 26 penalties. Ty McCain was her big danger, 81.53. Time allowed 75 seconds, and she went around in 81.53 seconds. So unfortunately for Nat and Chatswood Captivate, they're going to be, at this point in time, sitting in, or luckily they're sitting in 3rd place. I've got Simon Taitch on 1. I've got Tess Cook on 18. Next best, oh, hang on, no, I'm sorry. She's sitting in 4th place. Because I've got Yona Lloyd on 22.
Well, here's a lady coming out into our Coca-Cola Arena now that's no stranger, obviously, in the eventing world. She's probably one of the names that we were going to see, hopefully, maybe at Olympic one day.
I think Katja is well and truly on the Olympic shortlist at the moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're having a look at one of our top-ranked riders about to have a crack at this course now. It'll be really interesting to see what Katja does here, because I think she's one of those girls that will take a gamble. She does sit with just 2 penalty points. Is she going to be safe, or is she going to brave, or be brave, and say, you've got to catch me? I've got a feeling that she's just going to take the long way around here to fence number 2. She's going to take the shortcut through, though. That saved a bit of time. Approaches fence number 3, the triple bar, safely through it. 1.2 metres in height, 1.5 metres in spread. Just brings her horse back underneath her, going at just a reasonable pace once she's approaching some of these show jumping fences. She'll sit down and push this horse out over the tabletop. She'll bring him back together here now. She has a look at the water fence.
Now
He flies that. That was a good jump.
Curious to see what Katja is going to do here. Is she going to take the joker?
Well, if she wants to be the rider to beat, she's going to have to. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is looking good. She clear so far, is she? Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on it. Last minute to go on that sound tracking.
Looking good so far. Time's looking good for Katja. Still clear. One last.
All right, let's all go together. She's through safely. Oh, I've had my finger on the button there, waiting to push. That's the way I like it. Katja Weimann. Well, one rider to go, and she has to go for broke. Katja sits on -2. The ESB Irish Patience and Beck McDougall.
All stopped? Okay, it's all stopped.
Well, if you were Beck, what do? Do you go hard or you try and go clear? She's got to get under that allotted time.
Well, the only way she can get under that allotted time, and I'm not too sure how you do that. How do you get a minus?
Fast and clear is what we're looking for. Fast and clear. So this is her first time competing in the exhibition eventing at the Royal Melbourne Show. We wish her all the very best. Her best success so far is first at the Lake and Crater 3-day in 2013, and that was over the 2-star.
No surprises with Katja Weimann. Let's see whether we can issue a surprise here from Beck McDougall. Now, Beck going at a fairly slow pace compared to some of our other riders. Looking for the safe way around. Now, while Beck's doing that and heading the safe way, her biggest enemy looking at this at the moment is going to be the clock. Nice safe jumper. Everything going well to plan so far. She can probably afford to sit down and push a little bit harder through these more sturdier fences. And this clock is really ticking away on her here. Safely negotiating the course. The tabletop's good. Red flags must be on the right-hand side of the rider. She takes the shortcut through. She's got lost, has she?
She took the safe option there, and unfortunately it didn't work in her favour. She pulled the rail down. The only bonus about that is she takes 4 points and not the 8 that the big joker fence would have given her.
Takes the parallel brush, fence number 9, and has a little bit of a miscalculation here at the apex. And while she's wheeling her horse around to have another crack at the fence, and there's no problems with him jumping it, the clock again is starting to tick right away. So the accumulation of penalty points is starting to tick on her. One fence to go. Just the 2 fences down, but at the same time, she accumulates something in the vicinity of 33 points. So we'll await the official judge's decision here, but Katja Weimann, at this point in time, from our perspective up here in the box, she is our winner. She's our leader here with -2. Great round. Came in ranked number 2 from the dressage this morning. So you've just witnessed, if you've been here at the Melbourne Showgrounds for the very first time, that's exhibition eventing. A lot of fun. Combination of our cross-country and show jumping fences together offers a really different discipline. As I said before, we have only the 12 obstacles, the 14 efforts, and the clock, unfortunately for most of them, being their worst enemy. Well, stay with us because we're about to have our presentations in just a few moments for our exhibition eventing. And then, of course, back with our entertainment on the Coca-Cola Arena. The Rooftop Express coming up in about 15 minutes' time. I go.
Oh,
Sorry, champ.
that's all right. Going down there.
I get a lot more exercise than I used to. I met so many new friends. There's more laughs.
Hello, mate. Thought I'll come down and do it down here.
Yeah, where's Jack?
She's still up in the box here. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes.
Oh, we won't never ride. What do you mean?
Have you?
Not you.
We'll do this down here, bud.
Upstairs?
Check, mate. Yep. Down here. Hey. All right, need to come back onto the grass. Oh, no, you're all right there, eh? That's what we're seeing here, no one upstairs. What's your doctor done? From Western Australia, is she? Let's bring them out.
The 2014
I think they're running out. Tell Case to put a play on.
35 seconds hold. Okay, Terry. We'll go from 6.
Are you Jacob?
No, I'm CEO. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's welcome our competitors out here for our exhibition eventing. Let's put your hands together for a wonderful display tonight of both horse and rider. And right down to our final three riders. It could have gone either way. We ended up with a thrilling finish with a minus. And Katja Weimann will have our presentations in just a few moments' time. And if that's the first time you've managed to experience exhibition eventing, it is really thrilling. All the work they've done earlier on the day, of course, with their dressage, the accumulative points that they bring into this round today. And of course, we only had the one rider on zero. As I've said to you all throughout the whole of our competition, the best score you can have is zero. Katja Weimann managed to grab the 2 to minus, which was good enough for her to win. But Simon Tainch really gave her something to chase. Let's go down and meet our riders as we congratulate them. And I think we can celebrate our winners, and we sash from 6th up. And a very good evening to Jenny Muir, our judge. Jenny, you're making the presentation to our 6th rider in Beck McDougall on ESB Irish Patience. Congratulations, Beck. In 5th place, we have Natalie Davies aboard Chatswood Captivate. Well done, Natalie. Also joining us, Felicity Dubois from Equestrian Australia. Felicity has a terrible job of being able to follow all these riders and horses all around the country, making sure these events tick over and go to clockwork. Let's move up to our 4th rider, Yona Lloyd, aboard Sergeant Crisp. Yona, congratulations to you. Fairly good round. Of course, prize money these riders are riding for is quite lucrative. Let me tell you, our winner tonight takes home $600. Our judge about to place the 3rd ribbon aboard Tess Cook's mount in Rimfire Dom Pierre. Carried 10 penalty points in from round 1. 8, of course, she accumulated in round 2, giving her a total of 18. And the boy who we thought was going to be the rider to chase in Simon Tainch. Simon, congratulations, well done. Aboard Just de Mazzana. Ended up with 5 penalty points in round 1. Took on the Joker, which ended up with a total of just the 1 point. Which brought it back to one particular lady. She had to take the bit between the teeth as well as the horse and ride for the Joker, whatever happens, because Katja came in here with 2 points. Took the Joker on so far with a clear round, gave her a total of -4, and she ends up taking the $600. Good day at the office though, Simon. $500 is not too bad in the pocket to take home. Of course, you'll be paying tax on that, won't you? I thought you might. Katja, congratulations, well done. I tell you, it came down. The Joker was your friend tonight. Sometimes it's your enemy.
That's right, it was. We got over it clear, and it was good.
You're having a wonderful career at the moment, and we were just talking upstairs beforehand. I suppose you'll be working towards the Olympics, or hoping that perhaps you make that Australian team?
Hopefully that's the goal and the plan, and things don't always go to plan, but you've got to have a plan, so...
What do you prefer? We're having a look at you tonight. You handle both the show jumping fences and the 3-day event fences pretty well. I know you're probably more a 3-day event rider, but the bottom line is this particular event, you've got to be very good at both disciplines.
You do, but it's always, cross-country is the fun stuff, so that's what we're here for, the fun stuff.
It is too. Well done, Katja. Congratulations, Simon. Well done to you. You've grown up a bit since I last saw you, but well done. You gave them really something to chase.
Yeah, thanks very much. She was pretty good in the dressage this morning, but I thought I'd come out and have a crack and see how she performed, and she went well.
I haven't seen too many fences on the hill out there at Lovely Banks, so you've been doing some training behind the scenes, but well done. You and your horse have done exceptionally well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our place getters in our exhibition eventing tonight. Congratulate Katja Weimann, our winner. Simon Tainch has taken 2nd place, and Tess Cook rounds out our top 3. Well done, guys. I know what you're all waiting for. I'm just going to turn my back on you, Mr. Cameraman. Sorry, because I want to talk to these people over here. They paid to get in. You didn't. We are about to take you on a journey in a few moments' time with a thrilling event out here in the Coca-Cola Arena. And it is called the Outback Express, and I'm sure you're really going to enjoy it. Let's put our hands together for our exhibition eventers as they leave. Sit back, fasten your seatbelts, and we'll take you on a little ride in a few moments' time.